Jupiter, Florida, the northernmost town in Palm Beach County, considered one of the best beach towns in America. But there's a terrible, gloomy past in this suburban little corner of Florida, one that haunts those who lived there 30 years ago. St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, 1990. It was a Saturday like any other, where families and friends gathered around the sandy beaches of Du Bois Park. Off towards the inlet was a group of energetic teenagers on a 12-foot Boston whaler, 3 girls, 2 boys. Rachel Hurley, a 14-year-old middle school full of life, was one of the girls on that boat that day. Rachel left Jupiter Inlet to meet her mother as planned at Carlin Park, just under a mile away, but she did not make it. Her life was taken just before she turned 15. Rachel was a student at Jupiter Middle School and a member of the Jupiter Tequesters Athletic Association. She was known by many as a popular student who loved going to the beach with friends. She was loved by many, but mostly by her family. She was known as the coolest girl in school, with the best hair, the quickest wit, and charm that could disarm just about anybody. She had a curious mind and an optimistic view of the world. Rachel played softball, but now there were only memories of what could have been. Her name sits on the memorial till this day. Carlin Park is located 1/2 mile south of the Jupiter Inlet. The park has always been a local hangout where families and friends come to relax, especially on weekends. But everything changed after that day. Around 2:45 p.m., Rachel, while on a boat with her friends, was starting to get nervous about getting back to shore. She was supposed to meet her mother at 3 p.m. and didn't want to be late. The boys docked the boat on the beach, and she ran, leaving her friends heading south to Carlin Park about a mile away. That was the last time she was seen alive. The friends who were there with her, Aaron and Maddie, stopped at the bathroom before heading to Carlin Park and asked Rachel to wait for them. Aaron remembers that Rachel was too much in a hurry to wait, and just like that, with a quick flip of her hair, she was gone. When Rachel's mother pulled into Carlin Park, there were no traces of Rachel. Her first thought was maybe Rachel had actually told her she wanted to be picked up at Jupiter Inlet, or that she had gone back home. But little did she know she wouldn't see her daughter ever again. Andrea Hurley went back home, but Rachel was not there. That's when she knew something was terribly wrong. She returned to the park and, along with friends, their parents, neighbors, and nearby spectators, started a 5-hour search. The authorities, Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, were notified at 5 p.m., 2 hours after going missing. Those who remembered that day recall chaos, panic, and anguish. There was a huge search which included Rachel's mother, Andrea Hurley, Rachel's friends, parents, neighbors, and more than 100 Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office deputies. 2 boats, a helicopter, 8 mounted deputies, 3 K-9 units, and 4 vehicles.
We're living, they're living. We've enjoyed things in life. She wasn't able to, and it's not fair. They need to go to jail. This is Du Bois Park is up here. She comes down the beach. She cuts through the woods right here. And Carlin Park is right here. But it was all wooded back then, and I think it's still wooded today. It's around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. She's running down the beach. According to all the information that I've obtained from different people, there wasn't many people on the beach that day because it was a windy day and the sand was blowing really hard. And if you ever stood on the beach when it's blowing hard, that sand really stings your legs and body. It's very unpleasant. She ran down the beach, and then she took a shortcut through the wooded area, and that's where she was attacked and murdered.
At approximately 8:15 p.m., detectives found Rachel's partially clothed body in the woods, just east of a path leading south from Du Bois Park. Her nude body faced up. Her clothes were nearby. The preliminary autopsy results indicated that Rachel's cause of death was asphyxiation. The screams and commotion created during the search were followed by silence. Parents and children hugged and sobbed. They couldn't believe their eyes. The search was over, but the investigation had just begun. At the time, the community of 28,000 residents all wondered who would do such a heinous thing in Jupiter. The first tip came from a high school student who claimed to be in the park on the same day the body was found. The man was described as a man in his mid-30s with a tan complexion, dark blonde hair, and a beard, standing 6 feet tall and about 160 pounds. The wooded area where the body was found was home to a number of homeless, so the first theory was that it could have been a homeless man. Detectives questioned more than 50 homeless subjects. However, the search led nowhere.
This case has been worked, and I will say one thing. All the detectives, Bob Weekley and Mike Waits were the original detectives. They worked very diligently, very hard. Other detectives had worked it after they left, followed up all the leads that came in. In 2004, when we formed the Cold Case Squad, we adopted the case. And Detective Van Houten and Detective Paige McCann worked on it, and I was a supervisor.
There have been numerous leads in the case over the years, but no arrests have been made yet. Suspects have come and gone. DNA technology has improved, and the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office continued to search for leads to one of Florida's most publicized unsolved murders.
Well, some of them are more personal. Yeah, this is a 14-year-old girl, and I take that personally. How would you feel if your daughter didn't come home and then she was found viciously murdered and you knew something about it, or you knew somebody knew something about it, and that person didn't have the fortitude to man up and come out and help you? I mean, I can't picture going to bed at night knowing that my daughter or my son was murdered and nobody wants to help. I mean, that's a terrible loss.
4 days after this horrible death, boys and girls from Jupiter Middle School, along with their family and friends, gathered at First United Church to say goodbye to Rachel Hurley, whose life ended abruptly.
How did this affect the community at that time?
I think it affected Jupiter, and I think it still does, because anybody you talk to in Jupiter that I come across, everybody knows Rachel Hurley. And everybody, her father was a school teacher, and everybody remembers him. And it's one case that'll never go away. It'll never go away.
The Hurleys were a typical working middle-class family. Rachel was their youngest pride and joy. Their oldest, Erica, was only 3 years older and was very close to Rachel. The Hurleys, although destroyed by their daughter's violent murder, they did not let the event dominate their lives.
It really pisses me off that somebody murdered Rachel, is out there enjoying life, just went on with their life like nothing. I mean, this piece of needs to go to jail. And I know that somebody out there has firsthand knowledge that could put us on the right track to put this person in jail. And they need to step up and do the right thing. Yes, Anthony. I got some really bad news over the weekend. Mr. Hurley, Rachel's father, passed away. And to me, you know, like I said, he was deprived of seeing his daughter grow, go to college, get married, have grandkids. He was deprived of all that. I mean, he was a great guy. He was a coach. He passed away coaching his grandson's lacrosse team. He was just a great all-around guy. And I'm just sorry that I couldn't solve his daughter's murder before he died.
Optimistic, bossy, a leader, kind and thoughtful, and just plain cool.
She's got a smile that it seems to me reminds me of childhood memories where everything was as fresh as a bright blue sky. Now and then when I see her face, it takes me away to that special place, and if I stay too long, probably break down and cry. Whoa, 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 sweet child of mine. Whoa, 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 sweet child of mine. She's got eyes of the bluest skies, as if they had a brain. I'd hate to look into those eyes and see an ounce of pain. Her hair reminds me of a warm, safe place where as a child I'd hide and pray for the thunder and the rain to quietly pass me by. Whoa, 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 sweet child of mine. Whoa.